Alright guys, welcome back to the channel today. Hope everybody's doing well. So I want to give a big shout out to Southern Honda Power Sports in East Ridge, Tennessee. They're not sponsoring me or anything, but this is a dealer near Chattanooga that sells out the door Honda MSRP. No bells and whistles, no strings attached. You call them up, tell them what bike you want. If they got it in stock, they'll get it ready for you. You go pay for it and it's yours. No tax. You pay the tax back in your home state, or if you're Tennessee, you will pay tax. But I've bought several machines from them. It took me years to decide to get a side-by-side. My old 500 Polaris is really getting worn out, and I'm working on it more than I'm using it. I bought it new in 05, and it's just, I needed this thing around the farm here and to pull cars and stuff in the shop, and plus to take out west to Idaho to the mining claim and to my buddy's place out there so the girls can ride. Now, as a dirt biker, side-by-sides can get on our nerves because they got 300 horsepower and it's ready to trail up. But that's the driver, not the bike. So we're going to tread lightly, easy, and not tear the trails all to pieces. But this will give the girls a chance to ride comfortably. We can carry gear in there and it'll be nice. We're going to try to get it licensed up for the road out west. We're going to put a roof and a windshield on it eventually. But today it's time for its first initial service, which I think takes place at 20 hours or 75 miles, and we're right there at it. So it's got a little wrench light that came on the dash. We're going to get that out hopefully today. And I've got everything we need. So at this service, that's oil and filter, trans oil and filter, which is the same fluid, and the sub-trans is the same fluid. We use GN4 Honda 1030, and I've got the whole kit that I bought on Amazon, and I'll drop affiliate link below for that. And you guys can, it was really priced really good, and it comes with everything, even to service the front and rear diffs. Now the front and rear diffs aren't really on that initial service, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway from what I've seen to get some chips in there. You know, on initial break-in, we'll get that junk out of there and flushed out, put some new fluid in it. And so you guys ride along. You're gonna learn together today because I've never put a wrench on a Pioneer. I've worked on a few side-by-sides, but not one of these. We got to get, I'm going to see if I can get it up on the lift. I don't know if I can, but we're going to try. And then drain the fluids out. And I'll try to walk you guys through step by step, show you how to do it, how I did it. There's some drain plugs under there we'll have to get out, let it drain, fill it up. And I think I have the amounts on my phone, so we'll get really close. And I'm also getting ready to partner with eManuals Online. I don't have it 100% ready, but you guys keep an eye out for that. They wanted to partner with us. It seems like a really good place to get manuals for a pretty good price. So we're going to become affiliate for those. I'm going to give it a try. They're going to send me a couple of manuals to look at and stuff. So excited about that. But let's get going, guys. Appreciate you guys coming back. And I know this is a dual sport channel, you know, for the most part, but we got this for the farm. There might be somebody out there that wants to service their own bike for the first time. So let's see if we can get it done. Really nice that it fits on the lift, isn't it? All right, guys, so I know that this is the engine oil filter on the top here with the 3 bolts, and that is the dual clutch trans filter. Let's go under here. It should be pretty self-evident. It says engine oil here, 14. Engine oil here, so there's 2 drain plugs. Make sure you get it all out, get it good and hot. I took it for a pretty good ride, and it's good in operating temperature. So we're gonna get that one out and this one out for the engine. And then if you come up here, it says sub-transmission oil. And there's the 17 millimeter. We'll get that draining. I believe that holds about 1 liter, give or take. And I want to say this engine and sub-trans holds about 5 liters. So in quarts, we'll find that out when we pour it in there. I was just reading the manual. So let's get that draining. I said 14 mil earlier, but we're actually 12 millimeters. My bad. My glasses make things look big. All right. Let's get this draining out. Gonna take, be careful with the crush washer. We can reuse it a couple of times. And buddy, that fluid is hot. It looks pretty clean though. Could have just about saved that and filtered it and ran it in some other DR or something probably. I'm going to use a 12 wrench on this front one. It looks like it's a little bit easier to do with a wrench. There we go. Alright, and our sub-transmission is going to be a 17 wrench. Now, I know most of you guys won't have a lift, but it's be perfectly okay to do on the ground. It looks like it's pretty easy to get to. I'm glad that Honda keeps things simple, you know. That oil looks brand new, doesn't it? Look at there. Wow. But you know what? It's always better safe than sorry. Get that old oil out of there with that break-in stuff. And now we're also going to service the diffs, guys. You're going to have a 10 millimeter in that hole right there on the rear one, and then the fill we'll get to when we let it down. And then on the front there's a 10 millimeter right there, so we'll get those drained as well. Now Honda probably wants you to replace these crush seals, but if they're flexible if they'll move around really easy and they haven't been really crushed too tight, you can reuse them a couple of times. I've done it for 20 years and never had one leak. That kit did come with new ones, but that's okay. We're gonna go with that for now. Just gonna snug this up gently. You'll feel that washer crush a little bit, and that's all you gotta do. And I found that a 12 millimeter here on a ratchet with an extension or with a deep socket is about the best. Let's just snug out a little. That's good enough. All right, so let's get a 10 and drain these diffs quick. Well, that looks pretty clean. That crush washer looks good here. Like I said, guys, if it's loose on there, you can see how thick that is. I just roll with those a couple of times until it gets squeezed down too much. Sometimes if you do it really gently, the crush washer will last the life of the vehicle. It's going to be in this little hole right here, guys. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and loosen the fill plug. There's 17 millimeter here. And if you crack them loose, you'll get a little bit better drain, just so it can get air. Alrighty, let's get our 10 back in. Looks like we just about quit draining now. Alright, so right here is our fill plug. I've already loosened it. Let's get it out of there. Whoops. Don't drop it though, like I just did. And your fill plug is going to have a reusable O-ring. Just make sure you don't lose that. And if you drop it like I did, make sure you wipe it off good. And we're going to be using Honda's shaft drive oil, high poured gear oil 8090 today. And I have a little makeshift bottle that I've been using for years to get it in there. And on this, you basically are squeezing it in till it runs out. I know I showed you guys this little trusty Trustfire light here, but man, is it bright. Check that thing out. I'll drop a link below. Those guys were nice enough to send this to me. It's got tons of settings. You can turn it up and down. You can turn on this front light here and use it as a magnet to hold it right there so you can see what you're doing. That's really nice. It's just been a good light and it's fairly inexpensive. They sent it to me a while back to review, and I did a little review on it, but I'm enjoying it. It's got a laser on it, a green laser, a red light for going in the woods for hunting, and tons of different. So we can turn the brightness up and down on that as well. That's really cool. Help you guys see what's going on a little better. Alright guys, so you want to just keep filling this up until you get a little bit running out. And it's looking like this front diff is going to hold probably about 12 or 13 ounces, what it's looking like. Yeah, see it coming out down there? That's what you want. That's good and full right there. All right, let's get her back in there. Use a little piece of napkin to hold it in place. Doesn't have to be super tight because it has an O-ring. Just good and snug. Wipe your excess off. Alright, now we can go to the back. Now as you can see, this is our fill plug here in the back. Somewhat easier to get to, believe it or not. Once you get it all pushed in there and it starts coming out, you'll know it just won't hold anymore. Oh yeah, you see it coming out there? That's good and full. And it's pretty close to the front, what it held. Let's make. Okay. Looks good. Minimal spillage. Alright, let's get us a 10 millimeter. Looks like it. I'm going to get a wiggler because of that top one. Two at the bottom. And yep, I believe they're all the same bolt heads. There's a spring in there you don't want to lose out. There's your lid. These pliers here have made my life easier for many years. I bet they'll work great for this, so we can spread it out and pull that right out of there. So remember, your rubber end goes in first, guys, and then there'll be a spring, and I got to dig that spring out. I dropped it. All right, guys, here is the dual clutch filter. There's the part number if you want to take a screenshot of that. Right there, and this is the O-ring that goes with it. This came in that kit I'll drop below. So I want to we'll go ahead and replace this, put a little oil around it, and we'll put a little oil around this as well. Alright, just take your little flat blade screwdriver or any kind of little pick tool, get this O-ring out, and just walk your new one down on, just like that. And I got a little bit of oil here in this cap. We're going to oil this good all the way around. Let's get a little bit of oil right here. Remember, rubber in first, and it centers up in there good. It even says outside on it. This is our spring. It's going to go right in there, just like so. Start the screws back by hand. All right, let's snug that up. You want to go in evenly with this. I kind of like to push it all the way flush and then tighten it. That's just preference. Just so you don't cut that O-ring or anything. And this is just snug. Those are just 6 millimeters. Don't have to get too crazy with them. Okay, you're going to lose just a little oil. Shouldn't be too much. And as you can see, there's another O-ring here. Let's lay this to the side. Spring, just like below. And this one you can probably get out by hand. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. Engine oil filter O-ring. Engine oil filter. If you want to screenshot that. Now this is just in case you want to buy all this separate. Like I said, this is all in a kit that I got. Again, let's put a little oil around this. Slide this up in there. Alright, I'm just going to take this little screwdriver and walk this O-ring out. You could reuse this one a few times if you wanted to, but we got it new. Let's use it. Now I put the spring back in here, it should stay put. That says towards cover, so that you can't get that wrong, which is that's good. And then this is going to go where you can read engine. Pretty easy. Just want to make sure your spring stays centered up, and it should. Just like so. Start your bolts by hand. Let's tighten them all evenly in a cross pattern. If you guys watch my videos, you know I'm a pretty big fan of wigglers. It takes a little getting used to use them, but man, they just make life so much easier. Heavier than I thought they'd be. Alright guys, let's put the engine oil in it first. I believe our dipstick to check the oil is behind this little cover. And you just peel it back like so, and there's your dipstick oil level check. Alright, there's 4 push pins in this little cover. We just pop them down in the center here. There's 2 over here on this side. Gently peel them up out of there, like so. And this is where we'll fill our oil at, I believe. Alright guys, fill plug is here. See it there? Alright guys, to get to the sub-trans, we're going to need to take the front seat up. Little latch right here in the center. Let's get this out of our way. Going to be a little cover right here. We're going to take that up, and your sub-trans fill plug is right there, and that I think is going to hold about 1.2 quarts. Let's see. All right, here we go. Quart going in. Perfect. 1.2 guys on the sub-trans. Seat going in. There's some little hooks here at the back. Just line those up, and then the front just flats right down, and it's good. All there is to that, okay? Alright guys, let's fire it up. I ended up with, I went ahead and put 6 quarts in it, and that got it up on the stick. Let's fire it up and check it. I got the sub-trans oil in, the diff oil in, all the drain plugs tight, everything's back in order except for the cover. So let's go ahead and fire it up and then check the oil. Might want to just double check for leaks out of these O-rings here. Looks good so far. Now you don't want to thread this back in to check it. Just dip it down in there, make sure it seats all the way here against the thread, and that's the best way to do it. It's going to give you the most accurate reading. Let's give it just a little more time to run down. I think it's probably okay, but we need to give it just a minute. Alright guys, that's about perfect. Ended up with 6.2 quarts in there. Ran it, let it get warm. Had to put just a little bit more. But 6.2 is about dead on. Alright, now that we got the oil change done, let's see if we can get this little wrench light out here. I haven't read on it, but if it's like a Honda car, we'll just hold this in while we turn the switch on, and it'll probably go out. So just to document, so I had 2 miles left on the service. That's getting the use out of it pretty good. And let's see if we can get this light out quick. So basically, we're gonna turn it off. It's gonna be a little tough to do. Let's see if I can get you guys set up here. All right, hold this in, turn switch on. And that light's flashing and it's out. So that got rid of that light, great. So that's that easy. Turn off, hold in, turn on until it flashes. Let's crank it up here. Yep, that got rid of the light. Not a bad job. Okay, on these little push pins, guys, once you push them through, you'll have to pull it on through here. And I just put the outer part in and then the inner part even, and that's all you got to do. I appreciate you guys riding along today. This was a fairly simple task, and I'll list everything that we use below for you guys, and we'll put this thing to good use. I'll do a review video on it here soon. Don't forget to go check out the guys over there at Southern Power Sports. I'll leave a link below for them. And it's this little flashlight that I'm using today that's currently blinding me. I'll drop it below for you guys. And stay tuned about those e-manuals online if you're interested in that. From what I can tell, there are going to be some good manuals. You can get it right on your phone. And I don't use a ton of manuals, but it's really nice to have when you need to take a transmission apart or something. You need to know where spacers go and stuff like that. Torque specs, capacities, they're really handy. And I haven't seen one for a bunch of money, so they're pretty affordable. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one, okay? Stay tuned.